to the Fight Card Podcast. From news, reviews, and interviews, follow up.
Fight.
Here we go. Hello, everybody. sPidA here, the Fight Card Podcast, being joined by a new Fury FC Amateur Heavyweight Champion, Terrance Chatman. How are you doing, sir?
Doing all right. I'm doing all right. What's up?
Man, and of course, bro. I mean, you just fought a weekend a few days ago, man. I mean, how are you feeling, bro?
Feeling great, man. We didn't take no damage, so we back in the gym already.
And I was gonna ask you, man, how did you you walked in as good as you walked out, huh?
Yeah, man. We didn't take no damage. I think I got like a little bruise on my leg, maybe at most, but.
So what took longer, the walkout or the fight, man? That's what I want to know, man.
Man, the walkout, man. I felt like man, it was just one of those like surreal feelings, man. I was just ready to get it over with. From the moment I walked in, I already knew like the confidence I had. I already knew it was going to be quick, so I was already ready to get up out of there, man. I was saying it all in the back that it wasn't going to take long, so. You
see, and I was going to ask you about that, man, because of course, being a pro fighter or a competitor, I'm not pro fighter. I mean, you're still an amateur, but being a competitor, you always want to get it over with. I mean, you're not there to take damage, so of course, you know, your mindset is always to end it quick, right?
Yeah, so mostly, man, I don't get paid by the minute. So, you know, I'm just trying to put on good shows for the people who came out to see me. Unfortunately for them, they paid the full price just to get, you know, around at most. So.
No, and of course, and that's where the fan base, I mean, of course, I know there's teammates, you know, family went out there to go see you, man. The pressure, man, I mean, fighting close to home, I mean, a lot of fighters that they don't like doing that. They'd rather fight away. That way there's nobody there that they know. Does it bother you, man?
Nah, it don't bother me at all, man. I love fighting in front of my crowd, you know, my hometown, family, friends, everybody who see me come from where I come from, because, man, I was a real troubled child growing up. So now that I can do something positive, you know, influence people, I have a lot of people that look up to me now. So to have them come out and see me do what I do, man, like it's like one of those crazy feelings, man. Can't explain it.
No, and of course, man, I mean, I was hoping to have Coach Frank on here, man. It turned out he went Hollywood on me. He said I had to talk to his agent. You know, I just a lot of paperwork.
Yeah,
so, you know maybe next time.
He's big time in UFC now, so you gotta get on his schedule. If you're not on the schedule, then it don't work out.
There you go, man. But of course, man, I mean, he did bring you out here. I appreciate him for doing that. But this training, man, I mean, of course, you know, your team, bro. I mean, you have a strong team. You know, I've been in the fight game since 2000, like 1999. I've been training. I used to train, but I mean, I started way back when. You know, Houston has always been hot for when it comes to competition, man. So of course, it still does. You know, how much does your team have to do with your success?
Man, my team has to do a lot, but like, you know, as far as my Browns family, you know, I want to shout out my Metro team, because before I even started doing this, man, like, my first coach, Coach Saul, he actually passed. You know, a lot of people know about the Godfather, but he was the first person to believe in me. When I first started training, I was over like 340 pounds, man. Like I couldn't even run. I couldn't do anything, you know. So I want to for sure say a lot of it came from him. You know, he believed in me when no one did. But from there, you know, I had my first fight. You know, I dedicated that one to him, and then. I was hitting Frank up for like mostly like just privates, you know. I was hitting him up every on the side just to get my hands together, and I did like 1 or 2 privates with him, and then from there it was just like a family. They welcomed me in. I mean, they beat my ass, so excuse my language. they did me pretty dirty when I first came in, and it was just that dog feeling. It was hot in here, like just that sweat. It was one of them places I felt like I belonged. So after the first one, it was just now we're home, you know. So
yes, sir. And I gotta say, man, because I mean, Frank, I mean, I see him out there. He'll post those videos when he has you guys in the middle of the heat, man, running, doing drills outside. You know,
Sunday fun day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like he's enjoying it too much, man. I don't know, man. The whole no mercy is getting to his head, I think, bro.
Yeah, man. You know, he's big time now. Like I said, he's leveling up. You know, as far as his coaching career, stuff like that. So, you know, you gotta get in where you fit in.
No, for sure, man. And of course, man, I mean, this fight, like I was saying, you know, when you're out there and these guys obviously are putting you through the ringer, who are some of the guys that are out there helping you, you know, as far as teammates?
Teammates, man, I would say all my teammates help. You know, I come from a camp full of dogs. So, you know, my head coach, Daniel Pineda, like I said, Josh Van. We got a lot of killers over here. My coach, Chico, he gives me a lot of one-on-one time, too. Cameron Pressure. We got Ike Villanueva helps me out a lot, too. So, just just really just to staying on top of me, because basically I kind of hold myself accountable to a lot. So just doesn't take much for me to get it down. I just try to put in my first foot, like my best foot forward, and then we just go from there.
No, for sure, man. No, of course, man. I mean, fighting in the heavyweight division, man. I mean, there's no everybody that you fought has been a big guy, man. I mean, you guys are big, so of course, when you're out there, what are you thinking? I mean, are you going through a feelout process? I mean, earlier you said that you already knew what you wanted to do, but I mean,
I kind of don't really look forward to what I'm going into. Like a lot of my fights, I don't watch any camp, like no footage on none of my opponents. I don't even know their Instagram half the time until to after the fight when they try to follow me. But my preparation, I'll say, just I think of it like this: I'm not going in there with them; they're going in there with me. So you got to survive, not me, So, and like a lot of my teammates, Michael Aswell, Justice Torres, and them, they kind of let me know that. Just make sure they know that they're going in there with you. You're not going in there with them. So that kind of has been my mindset. And a lot of these big guys, bro, they want to brawl with each other. Like I said, I'm not brawling with anybody, man. I'm here to just pick my shots, get clean shots, and just, as you can see, get it out of there in the first round. I know this is just the beginning, but we're moving at a fast pace, and they can hop on the train while it's barely starting, or they can wait to the end when they pass them by. So,
no, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, this fight, man. Like I said, it happened, on the second. This was this past month. Fury FC, man. I mean, of course, they have a name. They've been making a name for themselves. Eric Garcia. I mean, I've known the guy. Not on the personal level. I mean, I can't call him or nothing, but I mean, I've known him through the scene for years. Back when he was competing himself. So I mean, he's put in a lot of work. Fury FC, it's definitely a feeder company for the UFC. I mean, being an amateur under that promotion, man. I mean, your thought process is what? I mean, are you looking to defend the title one time and then jump, or is this going to be like a team?
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm really gonna follow what my team thinks. Of course, one amateur fight probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, but if it goes the way it's going, like, I just don't really see the value of it. I mean, maybe getting tested by maybe a grappler or something like that. A lot of people think I can't grapple. The crazy part about it is I started with BJJ. That's literally what I started in before I even started striking or anything. So, nobody's really made me have to rely on that. But, I'm here to just, man, it's just whatever they want to do, we're ready for it, But, yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Just
For
trust the
Fury,
process.
though, like, it's crazy with Fury, though, because Fury is one of the first MMA things I've ever really just been at. Like, every event I ever done, like on Justice Torres, I think, and when he was still on the amateur scene, when he first debuted with them and stuff, was one of the first fights I've ever been to. So I've kind of known Eric for a while. I mean, he knows me real well now, after I'm fighting for him. But if I can defend it, cool. If not, pro is probably where I'm going. But I'm looking for whatever with whoever. So whatever my team feels, we'll go to the drawing board. Like I said, I'm back in the gym already, so we'll go to the drawing boards and then just whatever they feel from there.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, since before your fight, I mean, you walked back into the gym holding a title. Does anything change, man, or are they still taking it to you, man?
Man, they're still taking it to me. I mean, the title just means that I was better than I was the weekend before,
Yeah.
So now they have more of a reason to want to beat me up now, and of course, my team knows that, now there's a title on. I have a title, so now there's a target on my back. So they're trying to make sure I'm ready for whatever comes next, whether that's defend the amateur belt or go pro. But whatever's next, we're gonna make sure we're ready for it, and then we're gonna come out swinging. Like, the belt really doesn't mean nothing to me right now. Like I said, it's an amateur belt, but it's just a box off the checklist, So all that did was just make the fire brighter, and then the make the grind stronger. Like, that's all that did was just motivate me to hurt people a little more. So, feel bad for whoever I fight next, but we gotta get it done. We gotta get it done. So.
No, for sure, man. And of course, man, training it for this fight, man. I mean, what was one of the things? I mean, being a mixed martial artist, I'm sure you train in grappling, stand up, counters. But what was one of the things that you worked on? I mean, on top of conditioning, of course, it was up there.
Well, if I'm being honest, bro, like, I didn't even really train this camp. Like, not to sound cocky or anything like that, but the game plan when we got offered the fight with him, we already knew kind of he's a heavy boxer style, so. I like strikers because strikers think, the whole brawling thing, like, let's brawl with each other or let's throw big punch for big punch. But I'm not like that. And when a lot of people get in the cage with me, they realize I'm a lot faster. I'm a lot smaller, but I'm still a lot bigger than you think as well. So, and then when I hit them, it's usually when I hit them is when they either turn into grappling or they, you know, they is. I put fear in people before they even meet me, and it's not just that I'm confident about that, but you know, I'm very dedicated to this. You know, this isn't something I'm trying to do part time like some of these guys. Some of these guys are just doing it to knock it off the checklist, but I'm trying to make it far. You know, I'm trying to be a world champion in the UFC, or you know, as far as I can get into the UFC. You know, I just want to. A goal for me, my goal is just to say I touched the UFC. So if we can make it past that, you know, dream come true already. You know, so.
No, for sure, man. You see, and that's one of the things I was gonna say because your transition on this last fight, man, you went from striker to grappler in a split second, bro. So obviously you're doing that right. When it comes to the amateur series, I mean, it's gotten better, you know, for the amateur events. Back when, I mean, a lot of fighters weren't they weren't able to actually transition that smooth. You know what I mean? Like they would strike and then they would tie up, fall, and then it's a grappling match. But with I mean, you actually it was like muscle memory, man. So I mean, of course, you got your training right.
Yeah, well, I mean, because when I was at Metro, you know, Metro's not saying they're just known for just their boxing, but it's a lot of stand up going on over there. You know, they got hard hitters like Adrian, Cam, Smotherman. You know, a lot of people that bring that flashy knockout. Of course, they were a lot faster than me, so them swinging at me, I had to move a lot. But so now coming from that, it's just like now I'm where it's an all around gym where now you got people who can strike, grapple, people who can mix it up, people who can, you know, give you different looks. And now that I'm with, you know, Daniel Pineda, his brother Jose, you know, Joseph, Frank, Chico, like my game has got so well rounded now. As you can see, I went from never throwing kicks in any of my fights. And this one we actually set up the finish with kicks. So I feel like as a fighter, I'm evolving a lot more. You know, shout out to Metro. You know, I got mad love for them for Coach Saul. Right. You know, that's my home. That'll always be home to me as far as like where I started at.
Right.
As far as for my game now, though, I just want to make sure I'm the best I can perform to the best of my ability, whether that's, you know, regional, we go to the UFC, we go to Bellator, wherever it takes us. I just want to make sure I'm ready for whatever comes when it comes, you know, so. It's not a matter of if, but when for me. So I know win, lose, or draw, I go in there with that mindset. I'm not going to let none of that stop me. You know I'm good, even though a lot of people think I haven't fought anybody good. But if you look at some of these guys' finishes, a lot of them are finish fighters. They finish people when they do win. I think just my pressure is so strong on people that it kind of like scares them from the moment we lock that cage. Like, it's like they're worried about the right hand, or they're worried about like, am I going to be knocked out? And I think I break them a lot of times at the weigh-in. But if you see me, I don't like I said, I don't go follow any of them. I don't go look at their pages. I don't watch any footage on them. That's my coach's job, you know. But at the weigh-ins, I feel like they're already broken. And I think most of that is because I keep a straight face. I don't, like I said, I'm not really worried about my opponent when I fight. It's more like you need to be worried about me. And if you're not, it's probably going to be a bad night for you.
Oh, so. And it has been, bro. I mean, you are undefeated, you know, so obviously, you know, you're doing something right. Now, let me ask you, I mean, of course, I mean, you always transition when you're a fighter. I mean, you evolve, you get better hands, you know, better with your takedowns. You know, what has changed since you started, of course, with Metro, man? I mean, obviously, you said it went from a somewhat of a like maybe like a 60% stand-up fight, you know, gym. Then, so are you considered more mixed martial artist now than you were then?
I would say I went from because see, coming up, you know, I never had a fighter background. I was always an athlete. You know, I played football, basketball, stuff like that. But like I said, a lot of people don't know I actually started in JITS. The very first gym I ever stepped in was mainly a BJJ gym, and it was a little gym in a small area. It was nothing crazy, you know. But actually, Justice Torres was one of the first people to get me to go to Metro. He actually got me to go over there and try to like work on striking and stuff. Because, like I said, I did a lot of knuckleheaded stuff in the streets and stuff. You know, a lot of people come from that background, but a lot of people would tell me eventually you'll die because, you know, people aren't fighting fair, stuff like that. So I started doing jits. And then from there, the jits was so fun to me. Like, I was like, okay, well, what comes after this? Yeah. And then I thought I was good at jits until I went to Metro. Actually, my first time with Coach Saul, when he called me fat ass for like 3 months straight. Like, he didn't even call me by my name because, like I said, I was like 340 pounds. So Now I would say from being at a gym that was strictly boxing, I feel like I'm more of an MMA fighter now than ever. Though I still like to lean on the striking because that's fun. That's what the fans want to see is knockouts, people bleeding, stuff like that. But I'm ready to take it wherever it goes. I can fight off my back if I have to. Like whatever we got to get to win. That's all I'm looking for. I know the knockouts. People seem like I'm strictly going for the knockouts, but the win is what I like the most. So whatever we have to do to get that is strictly ideal for me.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, of course, like you said earlier, I mean, it's a team effort. Everybody pushes you, everybody puts you through the grind. Let me ask you, as far as a lot of people think, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go run, I'm gonna work on cardio, stamina. A lot of it is physical, but for the most part, mental as well, man. I mean, what do you think were some of the mental training that you did going into this fight, or even previous fights?
I would say just like you said, everything is mental. So like as far as the mental part of it, I just try to always stay confident. I try to always just make sure I die in the gym. We die in the gym. My coach is very strict on dying in the gym, whether it comes from cardio, sparring, whatever we do, we're going to die in the gym. We're not going to die in the cage. So a lot of that struggle that I go through, and that's why it looks like I'm so effortless when I step in the cage, because they kill me day in and day out every day. I'm here Monday through Friday. I come Saturdays. I come Sundays with Frank. So I'm literally dying, and I'm doing a lot of these things these big boys aren't doing. These big boys ain't running. They're, as you can see, the size different. I'm usually like 15, 20 plus pounds smaller than the person I'm fighting, and that's not counting what they're weighing on fight day, So I'm very proud. My team is very prideful when it comes to cardio. Cardio is key, So we're gonna always instill that, and then the sparring and everything else comes after. But we're gonna make sure your cardio is right, so you can at least finish the fight if you have to. Like I said, it's mostly mental though. I go in there knowing I'm good, so that's why I don't have to talk mess to my opponents. I don't have to go comment on that. A lot of these guys be commenting on my photos. They be DMing me. They be having their coaches talk smack about what they're gonna do to me. They're gonna drown me in the deep end. This guy isn't a real fighter. But we see what happens to them every time. They can do all the talking, but when it's time to fight, I come to fight. And at the end of the day, when that cage door closes, your coach can't fight for you, your team can't fight for you, the gym can't fight for you. You got to fight for yourself. And we see what happens when it's time for them to do that. So.
No, for sure, man. And that's one of the things too, man, because the fight game, I mean, since I've started, when I first started training in 1999, it's evolved. I mean, it seems like a lot of fighters, even now, I mean, you've got guys like, for example, like Villanueva, he went from boxing to MMA to bare knuckle. A lot of fighters seem to transition into even more.
Shout out,
I'm sorry?
Shout out my boy Ike, man.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out my boy Ike.
I was hoping Coach Frank would be here, man, because I found this the other day, man. I was actually at Legacy Fighting Championship number 12. And the reason I brought up the whole evolution was because if you look at the fight card, Ike Villanueva, of course, I mean, he was there, but his opponent, DJ Linderman, they both fought on that same card back in Houston, like years before they met him. So,
unfortunately for me, I didn't get to witness Ike fighting live when he did MMA. But I got to be a teammate and experience the BYB journey he's on. So, like I said, shout out my boy Ike. He's doing big things. The whole team, really, we all doing big things. We get active all year round. So one thing I take pride on my team is that we stay active. We fight more than a lot of these other teams. We stay active, whether it's jiu-jitsu, wrestling, whether it's boxing, bare knuckle boxing, MMA. We try to stay active. So that's one thing I take pride in with my team, and I'm just happy to be a part of it,
No, for sure, man. The reason I bring all this up, man, because of course, right now you are training as a mixed martial artist. But years from now, man, I mean, are you thinking, like you said earlier, whatever comes, when it comes to opportunities, if boxing were to come up and they're paying, paying well, if bare knuckle comes up years later and they're paying well, are these some of the?
I'll do bare knuckles now if they want to pay me.
As long as they pay up, man.
Boxing too. If boxing want to pay me, I'll do that right now too. Shout out to the promoters if y'all want to reach out. We can get that going too.
There you go, man. And that's what I was gonna ask, man, because your gym, I mean, just like a lot of gyms, man, yourself, there's a lot of different outlets. Everybody's doing different things, not just mixed martial arts. I mean, when it comes to gi, no gi. One of the things I did want to bring up though, man, is for y'all's gym, I mean, especially right now, it's not just a fight gym because you guys do offer kids classes.
Yeah, we offer it all, man. Kids classes, we work one-on-one with the kids. we're open to the public, bro. Anybody who wants to come get some work, and we try to push them, help them be the better version of themselves. We're not trying to kill nobody in here. We're just trying to get better day by day. Everybody, iron sharpens iron. So.
You see, man, and of course, like you mentioned earlier, man. I mean, growing up, being young and dumb, we were all there. Life changes, dude. I mean, for those out there, especially summer, summer's here. I mean, how would you go about telling them to join the gym or put their kids in the gym like this?
Man, I'll just say, man, for as far as putting your kids in this, like, this could save their lives one day. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking in general, just doing things to, especially if you have girls out there, to do things to like kind of help them protect themselves. And if you have little, sons or boys out here, stuff like that, or nephews, whatever you want to do for that, I'll say this is a good way to protect them from bullies, and basically give them an outlet if they can't feel like they can express themselves with their emotions, stuff like that. There's coaches out here that'll, put their everyday lives on hold just to make sure you can be somebody in life, and that's what I take the most pride in. Really, I think so, is like my coaching, because these guys sacrifice their whole personal lives to be here with me, to go to my fights, to be there when I need a cornerman. They're literally taking lives away, their time away from their lives, their kids, their wives, like all that. So, I just want to say the biggest of thank yous for that as well. So, I know a lot of it changed for me because I got 2 daughters. So, that's what kind of opened up my journey. Like I said, when I was 340 pounds, I couldn't walk right. I couldn't do anything. So I couldn't play with them like they wanted me to. I couldn't do anything. So it changed my life for the better in a lot of different ways than I can even explain. So.
No, for sure, man. And of course, and I was going to ask you about that. I mean, being a family man, having kids now, looking up to you, man. I mean, do you try? I mean, obviously, you try to better yourself, live as an example for them. So I mean, do they go out there to your fights as well?
Yeah, my daughters have been front row seats to every fight I've had, all 4 of them. They've even wiped the blood off me from some of them when I had my opponent's blood on me and stuff. So they're very into it when it comes to that. Like when I post about it, they're kind of like, oh, Dad's fighting. They know like when I'm gone a lot, they know like I'm training. So when they see that, they're kind of like already like, okay, something's about to happen. There's a reason why he's gone a lot more. But they've been in the gym. They've watched me train. They, like I said, first row to all my fights and stuff like that. My daughter is already talking about she wants to start training and stuff too. So
nice, bro.
It's been a journey. It's been a blessing, man. It's definitely like, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, what I would have been doing, I definitely wouldn't have said this. And like I said, I'm still new to this. I haven't even made a year fighting, and I haven't even made over a year and a half training. I think I started training at the end of December 2022. So I'm going on like a year and a half, maybe 2 years training. And like I said, half of that, I was 340 pounds. So a lot of training wasn't really going on with that time. So most of it was just dropping the weight, So I'll say I'm pretty far to say I'm not that deep into the game, So
right. No. You see, and of course, having a lot of teammates with as much experience as they have, man. I mean, with your head coach and just your teammates in general, man. There's a lot of hours, a lot of training, a lot of experience. So of course, I'm pretty sure some of that rubs off on you, man.
Yeah, and a lot of it too is just having an open ear, man. Just being coachable is the biggest thing. A lot of these guys, they let their egos get in the way, so they can be really good, but without being coachable, it's really hard. Because like I tell people, hard work beats talent when talent ain't hard working. You can be as talented as you want to be, but if you're not gonna put in the work, listen to your coaches, you're not gonna make it far. You can see the different level of how it is when you do it versus when you don't. And so I'm very open ear to my coaches. Whatever they kind of tell me to do, I kind of try to follow it. So,
No, for sure, man. And I mean, like just like in the fight game, like you said earlier, I mean, it's their job to look at your opponent and train you how they feel. Okay, you know what, we're gonna straighten this side or work with you on this. It's the same thing with the training. I mean, they're gonna put you through the ringer because they've been through that themselves. So it's not something like, hey, you know what, I mean, they've done it. You're gonna do it. The people after you are gonna be doing that as well. So of course it's nothing personal, it's all business. But the fact that you're able to listen, man, says a lot, dude. Because that's one of the things in the fight game. I've been in it for a minute, and a lot of fighters they they get upset, they get mad, and they just leave. And there's a lot of talent that just stops fighting, bro, and it's just for real, But I mean, that's great though, man. I'm glad that you're actually coachable, and you'll be evolving, dude. Because of course, I mean, you being this you not having this much time in the fight game, man, already, bro. I mean, that's a lot of freaking experience, man. I mean, that's a lot. You know, it's sky's the limit. So I'm curious to see what your next move is going to be. Whether you defend it, like you said, or you know, you end up going pro. You know, we'll see, brother. But
Yeah.
man,
One thing I can tell you, brother, is going to be very entertaining. The next one's going to be it's going to be something very very beautiful to watch. You know,
no, my
I'm
man.
getting better. I'm getting better with time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just ready for what's next too. So hopefully it's soon we find out what's next because I'm already itching to get back in there. So we might take a little tune up just to get something out the way while we wait. So.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, you mentioned earlier, grappling was your as far as your introduction into the combat sports world, man. Can we see you in the grappling competition?
Yeah, I actually competed for Apex. I want to say in April or May I did his Apex card. I was on there. I almost got the finish, but the time ran out. I was real deep on the choke, and the time ran out. So.
No, man. Well, do you see? I mean, that kind of says a lot in your game, bro. So, of course, you know, for the heavyweights out there, man. I mean, whether they're in the amateur division, you know, the bracket or in the pro bracket, you know, they definitely better watch out, man.
Oh yeah, just let them know, man. Like whether it's grappling or striking, I promise I'm gonna be a problem for anybody who steps in the cage with me. Win, lose, or draw, you're in for a long night. However it plays out, for sure.
And of course, like you said earlier, man. So promoters out there watching, listening. I mean, they get a hold of who your coach.
Yeah, just reach out to my coaches, whoever you want to see me somewhere. You want to. Now that's outside of MMA. You know,
Right.
as far as MMA goes, I'm probably gonna be stuck with Fury for a while. If not, the only one after that is probably the UFC because Eric's been real good to me. He always makes sure I'm good. He takes care of me and stuff like that. So I definitely want to be as loyal as possible. But as far as boxing, I've actually been offered. I was offered to do boxing as well to enter into the Golden Gloves and stuff, but I was a little past the deadline to enroll, so we'll probably get that going maybe next year. One of my boxing coaches, I got a strict boxing coach as well that's outside of 4 ounce. Danny, he works with me too, and he's trying to get me on the boxing scene because he comes from a boxing style, so he wants me to box. But like I said, man, it's a lot of options on the table. It's a lot of things that could be done. So like I said, I'm still pretty young for the fight game. I ain't been doing it that long, but I'm still pretty young. So we got time, you know, we got time to grow. And I'm looking to do this until I'm like 50 if I can. So
There you go.
We got at least 25 more years of this. So
no, my man. And I, you know, I can't wait to see you, man. I mean, if it's in Fury, I know they come through San Antonio. I mean, they'll be here in July, so maybe we'll see you.
Yeah, this is actually my third Fury fight. So yeah. I had one with an outside promotion, Elevate. Shout out Chris. He's always took care of me too. You know, that's my boy too. He's doing big things in the MMA scene as well. But outside of that, I fought for Eric 3 times and I fought for him once. So, you know.
No, man. Well, bro, I appreciate you jumping on here. I know you're at the gym. I don't want to keep you from your training, my brother, but I appreciate your time and I wish you the best of luck.
Anything, man. I appreciate you having me on here, man. It's it should have been sooner though, man. But
I know. Well, the last time I got a hold of Frank, man, I mean, it was just timing because the guy's everywhere, brother. And of course, you know, it's hard to track the dude, but I'm glad he got a hold of you, man. And you know, I mean, I appreciate him for that, man. But bro, I mean, best of luck, man. I mean, hopefully I'll get to see you, you know, before you go pro, and I can't get you on here no more, man. Before you go to the UFC,
sure, like I told everybody, to any future sponsors or anything like that, anybody that's rocking with me now, while I'm still unknown, like a lot of people starting to know me now, a lot of people starting to, you know, the name is starting to ring a little bells. But anybody rocking with me now, I'm definitely taking them to the top with me. So
sweet, man. Heck yeah, brother. Man, thank you very much, bro. Don't hang up. Everybody out there, of course, this is Fury FC heavyweight amateur champion Terrance Chatman, my man. Thank you.
What's up? Shout out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So next time, follow up.
Yes, sir.